Alright guys, in this video we're going to learn how to use the linear pattern tool. So we're going to be replicating this shape here, which is actually, it's just like a plate with a bunch of triangles cut into it. So in our previous things I've just done shapes. This one I'm actually going to be looking for a sketch and an object. So your like screenshot could look like this. It doesn't have to be, edited with arrow and whatnot, but this is what I'm looking for. So go ahead and let's follow along to get going on it. So we are, I'm gonna hide this sketch, going to be starting a new sketch. All right, on the front face. We've never used the linear pattern before. But this can be extremely helpful, being efficient and effective in on shape when, generating geometry. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create this outer rectangle, which is a 6 by 3.5 inch rectangle. And then we're going to go in and draw one triangle inside that rectangle. And then we're going to apply a linear pattern to it. So let's start by drawing this outer rectangle and then we'll move inward. So 6 by 3.5 inch rectangle here. I'm going to draw that. As close as you can. 6 by 3.5. Okay, wonderful. The next thing is if you look at this singular triangle, it is a triangle that has a side of 1 inch. Lateral triangles, 4 across 3 going down. The little matrix there of triangles. So let's draw one using our polygon tool with an edge of 1 inch. Have one of the sides be horizontal and or parallel, to that upper edge. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to do a polygon. I'm going to just click approximately in this area, and I'm going to go ahead and click and then move my mouse in to have it snap to the 3 edges. Okay. So as you can see, I did not draw that perfectly, but I also need to dimension it. So this needs to be 1. As you can see here, it does not look like this edge is perfectly, maybe it is perfectly horizontal. So I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. That would have driven me crazy. So I just used the horizontal geometric constraint and then clicked on that edge. Another thing you could have done, so I just reversed that, it's just slightly off. You could have also done the parallel tool and clicked on those lines. Because, that's horizontal. So anyways, always different ways to do things. So make sure that's horizontal. That location is probably okay to apply our linear pattern. If your triangle is like floating out here in space, you can remember select it and run that transform and just kind of scooch it maybe off the corner of your rectangle. Or scooch it into your rectangle closer to where it's supposed to be and click in place. Okay. You kind of want it to be up there in that general area. I do not have specific dimensions. If you want those, you can ask me. But just eyeball it. I'm not looking at that much detail for this. So, and now we're going to click on that triangle. So I'm going to click and highlight it, and this is where we're going to apply the linear pattern tool. So up here, my transform is selected, but under the same window, there's a linear pattern tool. So you're going to click on that once you have your triangle selected, and it's going to start to generate multiple instances of what it is that you want to do. I'm clicking and dragging this arrow to scooch it out. In our assignment, I actually do have dimensions on here, okay? But we also need 4 going this way and 3 going down. So I just want you to space them out as evenly as you can. It's okay if it's not exactly like mine, but I'm going to be generally looking for it to look like mine. So this way we only have 3 right now. So down here where it says 3x, we're going to double click into that and change it to 4x. And then this arrow, if I click and drag it, it starts to scooch those out accordingly, which is nice. You can also define that specific gap. So like from here to here, maybe you want it to be 1.5 inches because of whatever you're doing. You need it to be placed like every so often on the center of a specific point. Okay. Um, so we've got 4 going that way. Great. Now we need to figure out how to do 3 rows of that down. We've got this part of the linear pattern right now, it's pointing up. Click that so that it's pointing down. And then we're going to change the 1x to 3x. Okay. When you do that, it's going to say, okay, in the y, they want 3 copies of that. And then you can switch that to accordingly as well. Okay, pretty cool. You can define it. It does start to get a little confusing because there's so many numbers and things like that. You can define it to be a specific, maybe you want it to be 1 inches, you know, and so you can do that as well. But now we've got our pattern. The biggest thing when you're done with a pattern is do not hit escape, click to place it. Click out in space and then place it. So that's how you do a pattern. To create this into like a plate like that, you're going to actually click out of the sketch. So hit the green check and you're come out here. And the nice thing about pattern work too is that now, because we have those lines on there, we can select the face in between all the triangles. Okay. Say maybe for example you don't want to extrude all those. You can click on the interfaces of some of them. Okay, and then we're going to do a small extrusion of do 0.25 inches. Okay, so there you go. If for whatever reason you want to unselect those faces, like you actually do want them to be included, you can just click back on those faces and it'll actually unselect everything. So there you go. Go ahead and click check on that, and there is your plate face. So you can screenshot that for object 1.